What is going on, everybody? Time to see back in for another episode of the FUT Live podcast. It's been a while. It's holidays season. Let us off. It's me and Felix today. No Joey. I'm probably still busy with the holiday stuff, but we're recording here. It's January 2nd. We just got Icon Swaps 2, which is really a big reason why I want to record specifically. Is I had a lot to say about that. But Felix, first off, how you doing? Are you playing Weekend League, and how's FIFA been going? Because I would say, before you get into it, another reason with holidays that we've been off is I think we all have kind of lost a little bit of love with FIFA already in the year. I know from talking to you guys in Discord that you guys haven't been playing as much as you were, a month or two ago.
Happy New Year, everyone, first of all. I keep forgetting that. I run into the shop, buy things, and people go, Happy New Year, and what? Is it New Year? Oh, yeah. Huh. I just keep forgetting it's a thing. So, I'm alright, I'm doing better. I had a couple of rough weeks. Joey and Rob will know. And didn't play FIFA in 2 weeks. I just didn't touch the game. I thought, let me play to 11 wins in Weekend League. I stopped at 9. I just couldn't take it. The game is, I don't know, it just bored me. I didn't enjoy it, so I didn't play. And then this week, starting Monday, pretty much, I didn't play Weekend League at all. The weekend just passed. And starting Monday, I've been grinding drafts and stuff, and found my love again for the game. I played a couple of silver objectives. The thing that kills it for me is just the monotony in the competitive environment, because everyone plays the same, and it's just frustrating as hell. But when there's a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere, people don't necessarily put on all the same custom tactics, use all the same games. It's actually quite enjoyable. It can be enjoyed. It depends on the environment for me. But yeah, I'm back on the game a little bit. I am playing Weekend League this weekend as well, but probably going to stop at Gold 1, just, to get the packs for Team of the Year, to save them, and we'll see how that goes. Because first of all, we've got headliners now, hopefully just for 1 week and not for 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Team of the Year can't be far away. We've not had the vote yet. Normally we get the vote, and then a week later or something, they drop it, don't they?
Yeah, so that's what maybe next week. I think headliners is going to be 2 weeks because something we had just talked about actually before this is that the team's only 11 players, so it's like a half a full squad, like half a team of the week essentially is what I'd compare it to, and that usually is what they do on the 2 week promo. So I imagine headliners will be 2 weeks, but maybe next week we get the voting for Team of the Year, so there's not like some weird gap in between of 1 week, because I think that would be quite annoying if we had a gap in there. But yeah, so Icon Swaps is here. Felix made reference to it, that it's kind of a little bit more fun in terms of, people don't play with all the custom tactics. The issue is that because of the way FIFA's gone down the path of, you still get a lot of these games in these objectives that are sweaty, and people are playing, 4-2-3-1. Some of the custom tactics are the same. But that's just the way they play at this point. I think that's the minority in these friendlies. The golden goal's there, so usually if you score first anyways, they'll quit, especially those kind of players that are playing super sweaty. They tend to be the ones that don't save. But the big controversy and the big reason I was kind of upset, and I've kind of stepped back a little bit from it, but because I'm more mad at the community now than I am EA, but they added a cap in this icon swaps. For one of the icon swaps, it was two technically, but it's the one nation. So you have to do a full English team and a full Brazilian team. And there's a cap of 60 games. Luckily, it's only 7 wins per team, so it's 14 wins in 60 games. The way friendlies work, even with skill-based matchmaking, it's pretty loose as it is anyways. I win most of them, and I know Felix wins most of his as well. It's not like he's playing high-tier Div 1 every single friendlies. The way it works is, so you should win 14 out of 60. It's not too hard. But at first, I was mad just because in my head, the theory is, I was saying this before, so I hope it makes sense, but EA did it because they didn't want us to get objectives faster, but the only reason we get objectives faster is because we want to get off the game as soon as possible. So in theory, the way this should work is that icon swap should be achievable to get to, a grind, but you can get them. There should be ways to work around fast. I know people are doing the squad battles where you can actually do 3 at one time if you have the right cards in your club. So you can get 3 at done. So we're rushing, but we should be rushing because we want to unlock these icons as fast as possible, and then go and use them in Rivals and Weekend League. Unfortunately, most of your casuals and even a lot of your hardcore players are not even grinding Weekend League and Rivals. You just heard Felix, who basically for most years played Weekend League almost every single weekend until the end of FIFA, when it really dies down after Team of the Season and stuff. But he's even already stopped this early. So like we're just rushing these objectives just for the sake of rushing the objectives, and I'm assuming EA has data on that. So then what they do, they try to slow it down as fast as possible. They put a cap on it, so like I said, 14 out of 60 is super easy. But at the end of the day, what the cap does is make people always have that in the back of their mind that there's a cap, so they can't do the golden goal that the community was doing. And I think that's why the community was upset. That's why I was upset first. It was because it felt like a change from EA that was kind of backwards way of thinking. They, instead of slowing down the objectives, they should keep the objectives at the same speed, but give us a reason to keep playing past once we finish these objectives, which we just don't have right now. Like for me, while Felix said he took like the 2 weeks off, I kept playing, but I only did the silver stars every week. That was basically it. And then if there was like a fun objective to do with whatever promos at the time, I would do that one as well. But I haven't been streaming the game because on a normal daily basis, I'm just not playing the game every day like I was. So what would I stream? I'm not going to stream the menus. I'm not a trader or anything like that. So I don't know where you stand with that, Felix, but I know you said you didn't mind the cap because of the 14 out of 60, but I don't know if you have any thoughts on the cap or any of the icon swaps as a whole.
I'm not really affected by the cap in that way, because I don't think most people are, to be honest. Because there's so many games. You have 60 games for 14 wins. And because there is some sort of skill-based matchmaking in these friendlies, you should be able to do that, because you play people that are around your skill level, in theory. So it should be possible to get the 14 wins in 60 games pretty comfortably. The problem people have with that is just that it feels like a bit of a fuck you from EA. Because they see we're doing that golden goal, and I mean it was always coming that they made it more challenging and more difficult, because they see, oh, they're just kind of cheating the system in a way, and they don't want that. But I don't know, it's just a bit annoying. It doesn't really affect anyone. It's just a bit of a dick move.
That's what I think. That's why it's worse, and that's why I've kind of stepped back on it. So at first I was like, I'm not even gonna do the icon swap, just as like, hopefully, like, you know, if more people think like that, the data kind of skews. But then the more I thought of it, I was like, it's really not that bad. It's more of just like how out of touch can they be? But in a way, they're so out of touch, like they're in touch, like because they know exactly what they're doing. They just, for some reason, they think that's the best way forward, if that makes sense. Like they know exactly that we're gonna be mad at it for this reason and this reason, but in their head, like it's still the better way for the game long term in terms of slowing us down to get these objectives, because it's going to take a while. Like even adding the 18 weekend league matches, I don't think weekend league and objectives should combine, because again, it's competitive mode. Luckily there's no restrictions. It's literally just win as many as you can, so most of your players that are just playing weekend league casually are going to get that. Again, icon swaps, I think this is where I've turned back in the community, is I think a lot of people in the community think the icon swaps have to be done in a day or one sitting. They were not designed to be done in one sitting, which is why they were spaced out. They're supposed to take at least a little bit of time to do. Like, we're not going to have all 10 that got released today done today, or when they were released yesterday. They were supposed to take some time. So if you are someone like me who doesn't like weekend league that much, only plays super casually from here and there when you have time, 11 wins is not hard to achieve in weekend league. Same thing as 14 out of 60 for the cap. 11 out of 30 is not incredibly hard. And even if you can't get 11, if you get 8, what is that, 14, you'd still get, or it's 18, so you'd have to play like 2 in like a couple extra games, 2 games. So it's really not that long, so it's going to take you less than a month to complete, which is just one of the swaps. So the other swaps you can do a lot faster. So I've kind of turned around in the community a little bit and been like, I think we now, at times we complain to just complain, and part of that is with the golden goal. The toxicity that trying to be not toxic and doing golden goal has created is absurd. I know Felix saw it, we were talking about it already on Twitter. But I feel like the whole theory behind golden goal is to be less toxic. You know, help everyone out. If they score first, just quit and give them the win. But now, because that's like a popular theory, everyone is absolutely required to do that, or you're the toxic one if you don't participate in that, which is backwards thinking to me, because I logged on to do icon swaps. I went in 2 straight games. I had this situation. I'm dominating. I have 2 to 3 shots, but I have maybe 65+% possession. The guy's auto blocking left and right. Makes a save here and there, gets 1 counterattack and scores off of it, and then pauses the game for me to quit.
That's the worst.
If you pause the game to quit, I'm never quitting. Unless you go up like 2 or 3 and I don't want to waste my time. But if you pause the game for me to quit, I'm never quitting. 100% down. I know, Felix, you said that as well. So
yeah, I'm staying there. I'm sweating. I just hate that behavior. Just because you want to do golden goal doesn't mean I'm obliged to do it as well. If I want to do it, then fair enough. But if I don't want to do it, you just have to accept that and play out the game. It's not that bad. The thing is that I don't understand. People grind these icon swaps like their life depended on it, but in the same breath they like slag off the game and say, "Oh, just get me off this game as fast as possible. I just want to get it done as fast as possible because I hate the game." If you hate the game that much, then why are you doing it anyway? You're working towards completing something that you'll then never use because you don't like the game. It just doesn't make any sense. Then just... Oh, shit, I shouldn't be shaking my desk there, innit? Oh, that's bad. Whatever.
That'll be a good visual for the YouTube video.
The thing is, people can't see this, but my desk is basically about this much higher than the armrests of my chair. When I move in my chair, the armrests, like, shake the desk.
Oh,
and my monitor shakes,
right
and
now.
the camera is on the monitor, and then, well... Anyway, different topic. But I just don't understand this mentality. Like, why do you want to get it done in the first place when you don't even enjoy the game and you're not going to play with what you're achieving after you've done the objectives? It's just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense, does it?
And for me, this is something I said as well. Is like I'm genuinely having fun. So I've only done the Premier. I've only done the Premier League objective for the second set. So it's win 6 games, scoring 10 games, and score or 5 through ball assists or whatever assists with through balls in 5 separate games as well. So you basically need to play 10. You need to win 6 of them. There's no cap. It's friendlies. There's no overall cap. So like we were used to the managerial masterclass or whatever it is. That one that has the 77 overall. We finally don't have that. I'm someone who like I only play friendlies. Really, like I said, I don't really dabble in weekend league and rivals anymore because I just haven't had fun in it. Recently, I don't even have a main team complete. So for me, like when Freeze came out, they were releasing loan cards with every single Freeze that came out. I did every single one of them. So all you had to do is silvers and bronzes and maybe like 1 gold card here and there, and you got all these loans. So I have at least 2 Freezes basically from every major league. So now it's 2 players I get to use. They count as first owner, which what the objectives need. They're higher rated. They're special cards. They're fun to use. They're different versions than the regular gold cards. So it's just like, it's fun for me to actually play it. So I was actually enjoying playing it out. And I get people pausing it left and right to quit. And then all the games I won, the person quit right away. So like for me, it's like, yes, cool, I got it done faster, but I was actually happy to use the cards. And I haven't done the La Liga one yet, and I'm going to do that next. And I have a couple freezes from there that I'm excited to try out. Like I got to use that center back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Was surprised by how good he was. I got to use the freeze center mid, Firmino. That was fun.
I didn't even do any of the loans, and I regret it, to be honest. I didn't think ahead because I didn't think I was going to do like swaps in the way I'm doing now, because I didn't check the objectives. I was like, oh, it's going to be the same as last year, innit? Load of rivals, load of sweat, load of just non-enjoyable things. It was actually fun. Like, I've completed every single one so far that's online. I did all of the ones from the first batch, and from this one I did the 4 that are online, and now I've just got the squad battles ones left. It's actually alright, but I wish I had done more of these lone SPCs, because at the moment I'm glad when I can field a team that doesn't have any non-rares in it. Or silvers.
Yeah, and I think that's been the fun part too, is like you said, like the first owners make a requirement that's weird. So like, but for us who open packs quite a bit or do like, I do a lot of the daily SPCs, it gives me a lot of first owner cards. So like I'm well equipped. I'm not using like first owner like silver cards just because like they're the only ones I have left. And then also, like I said, if you use the loans, like the way they've done the friendlies loans that they don't count as games, like you should do every single loan that you possibly can. I'm happy they're like one nation, one league, so icons can't come into play. I think it'd be annoying if we could use like all the icon ones, just because those were random at the start of the year. Like you got like a random loan icon if you pre-order the game. I think the fact that we all have access to these loan cards has made it kind of fun and friendly. Like I've come up against them quite a lot too. Like I've come up against a few loan cards myself, and I don't get mad at the person for using loan cards because it's just kind of fun to use different teams. So it has been enjoyable. The silvers have been enjoyable. The silver stars, that's been fun. Every week, kind of, I want to rebuild the team from the ground up because I want to try the newest silver star that's come out. We unfortunately don't have one this week. But like, what's that guy's name? You said it earlier. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But he is maybe one of the best silver cards. Yeah, he's one of the best silver cards probably in the history of FIFA. Just call him by his first name.
Silas is a bit easier.
Oh yeah, Silas. Yeah. I think that's even what they put on when you're dribbling with him. Like it goes under.
Yeah.
On him.
I think they've put that on his shirt not only because his last name is super complicated, but also because it's just too long.
I think, yeah, it wouldn't fit. It would just get cut off. So the silver stars have been fun. I think the last time we recorded, actually, you were not having fun with the silver stars, and I told you, like, keep trying. I think you rated it to, like, a bad week, and since then you've played it. I think
that was the face when we weren't recording, but I hated it at the start because everyone just played the same. They just sat back, and as soon as they won the ball, they spammed a driven pass into Che Adams and tried to do 1-2s to get in on net, and it was fucking boring, but the longer I've played, the more fun it's become.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what I said at the start, is that there are still the people that treat every single friendly game like it's a weekend league, last 10 games of the weekend league sort of situation.
You know what I found,
you know what? It's for it's them, whatever. But like I'd say that's like not the majority in friendlies, which is what's been really fun for me to play and why I've really been enjoying friendlies myself.
I think you mostly encounter those people when you play the objectives super early. So if you go into the silver objectives right when they're released, that's when all of those are out. But if you give it like a day or two and then play, then there's more normal people around who who won't play.
Yeah, I did a silver star the last day. It was actually out because I forgot about it. It was the Romero one, the team of the tournament one, for UCL. Team of the tournament from Atalanta, the Argentinian center back. I completely forgot about him and went to do him, and I got it done in 3 games. Very easily, and I played like some not good players, but people were trying to attack and score and stuff like that. So that's definitely part of it. And with the icon swaps, so many people are doing it. I haven't found that it's hard. So I did the Premier League one that's 10 games. I won 8 of the 10, and then the last 2, the guys were pretty good. So I was just like, I basically let them have the win, and as long as they gave me the through ball goal, which they did, which was nice. So they got the win.
That was
one of the guys
something I wanted
quit,
to
but then ended up letting me get the objective.
The through balls are annoying as hell. Not because it's hard to do with something, but it funnels people into playing this exact way that I hate so much, where it's just long through balls and every single ball is a through ball. It's just so frustrating.
That's my part too. It's like I score quite a few through balls, so like overall when I see the objective through ball, I'm like, that's not too bad. But then like now for me, like obviously because people are doing golden goal, I'm only scoring 1 goal a game. So like I got my 6 wins, and all of a sudden I only had 3 through ball goals in those 6 wins, or 2. I think I had 2 in the 6 wins that I had. I was like, oh boy, now I have to actually go out of my way and try to get these through balls. And as soon as you have to try to through ball, it forces such a bad play. Like I was doing 4-3-1-2, and I had Freeze Adama and the objective, not objective, I think it was an SBC Bellerin as my wing backs, and I just had them bombing on the wings. I'd through ball it to them, have them cut inside, and then like sweat it across like with a through ball. But it like forces such like a boring style of play because I was just doing that over and over again. But it was like the only way I was going to guarantee that I got a through ball assist.
That was a problem I had with it as well. It just forces you to play boring, and it's just not enjoyable. But yeah,
I was trying to think what else has come out since we've last recorded. But
excuse me,
you can keep going. I was going to move on.
I wanted to say I wish they changed the assist thingy to assist with midfielders or something, where you're not forced into a certain way of assisting. I mean, I'm glad it's through balls and not crosses. That would have been even worse, but
yeah, which I imagine will come. I would say will come. It has come already in some objectives. Because like I said, I've done like a lot of the objective players just because it's good SBC fodder, and then also good first owner fodder for these other objectives. Like that's why I've done like every single one I can. Like I did the team of tournament Coman. I'm gonna do this Matthias Cunha eventually. I just haven't got to it yet. The headliner. Because again, they're just good cards to have in your club, either for SBCs. I know the base icon SBCs have come out a few times. I just did one right before we recorded. I should have saved it for the recording, got a little live recording, but it was just mid-petite, so it wasn't anything insane.
It's not bad,
but also better than losing coins on the SBC technically. So yeah, there's the good cards all around. The friendlies have been the most fun part. I feel like we could have spent like the entire episode on friendlies because that has been the only thing like I've been touching and kind of the only good thing that I've enjoyed about FIFA. But we did get, I guess I'll steal this from you, Felix, deadliners, as you called it. But headliners came up.
I think that comes from the people from the What the Fuck podcast.
Okay, so I'll give credit where it's due. They came up with it, but I thought it was funny. Even though I actually don't mind the team so far that I've looked at it, but
no, it's alright.
I think the term deadliners, I don't know, I haven't heard their take on it, but would probably come from like the idea of the promo. Like I don't love the idea of the promo. It's giving a special card to people that have special cards.
Yeah,
for the most part. So it doesn't make a ton of sense. But then also like because it's upgradable, it's essentially once to watch that part of that side of it's fun. So like once this is done, the promo's done. There's more to these cards later on. Like trying to look at it right here. João Felix, if Atletico win 4 in a row, it gets upgraded even if he doesn't perform well. Like he could sit all 4 games. But if Atletico wins 4 in a row, then he gets upgraded. So that's a cool one. And same with anyone else.
It's gonna be tough for Wilfried Zaha. I don't think Crystal Palace, like no offense, but I don't think they're winning 4 in a row this year.
No, but he's one that could get a lot of inform.
Could get another inform and
he's
get
so good for
way,
their team. Ben Yedder could get an inform and like his team could win 4 in a row with Monaco there.
And then we've got the 27th Bruno special card.
Yep. But again, and that's the issue is that like he's the same rating now as one of his most recent player of the month. Which there's not much EA can do with the player of the month because it's a voting thing, and like Informs, again, there's not much they can do with informs. Like if the player earns an inform, they earn an inform. But that's like, or I think the promo's not great. But yeah, there are some cool cards. I like how the one thing I'll say is like, Fabinho didn't have a special card, but he's been playing really well, being forced to play center back for Liverpool because of Van Dijk's injury. So what they did is that, he's played well, but doesn't have an inform because he's a defender. They've got to give him a center back headliner. So, Liverpool wins 4 in a row, which could easily happen even with all the injuries they've had. They've still looked good. Could definitely get the 4 in a row to get upgraded. And, he scores one, maybe they win 1-0 and he scores a header off a corner. You never know. Like, could easily get in for himself. So that was a cool one. With any of the position changes, I always love a good position change like that you cannot, like, that we don't have cards for, obviously. Like Mkhitaryan going central, stuff like that. Like, overall, though, is there anyone I'm going to bring into the team to try? Not really.
The only one I'd be interested in for my team is that Bruno card, but he's extinct at 2 million coins, so no thanks. And
Swappin has one on the market for 1972.
Player of the month is like 1 million coins cheaper almost.
Yep. For what are the stats differences? Plus, so the player of the month has plus 1 shooting, but minus 1 pace.
And worse strength. That's it. The rest is the same.
Pace, yeah.
Oh yeah, pace.
And then everything else is like the exact same. Well, they are the exact same. So that's crazy. But again, that's the issue with this promo as a whole, though, is that if you're going to do like players that have had good results in real life, then most likely they're going to have special cards as well. One thing we did miss, I'm just trying to go back through all the content we've missed, is the showdown cards. We had the first ones of the year. We've had them previous years. Cool. Not really. I was going to say cool card design, but it's really not, is it? But cool idea behind it. Yeah, I was looking at it. At first, I liked the yellow of the Acuna for getting upgraded. I like the font of it, but I don't really like the background. But the idea is cool. 2 cards. They can get fun with them. Like, it's a card that both cards are decent gold cards, starter squad cards in a way, but don't have any special cards because of either position or how they play in real life. So, the upgrades are actually sick, both getting 85. The 85s, honestly, themselves are, like, decent. Like, even that Coquelin, he's not going to obviously get upgraded, but the card itself is semi-decent. I mean, he's got 3-star, 3-star, but as its defensive mid, 82 pace, 83 defending, 85 physical is decent. If it did go up to an 88, it's insane. For a CDM, and then that Acuna card is actually very, very solid for probably a CDM, if anything, a left back that you start in game and move to CDM, or for me, that's someone that likes the 3-5-2, could easily get moved up to a left mid in the 3-5-2 and play very well. So good value there if you did happen to complete the Acuna. I did not.
I didn't either. I did none of them because even though it's good cards, I just don't see them getting in my team.
No, that's the issue, is that they're kind of gatekeeped as well. Like, they'd have to fit pretty much exactly into your team. Coquelin's good because he's French, and Acuna left back's not bad, and they're both good leagues. But we finally got from Martin the flashback Robin. He's been using Robin in his team all year, so he's finally got his flashback.
I've seen that as well. He's got 5-star skills. I was talking to Lucky the other day, and like he's happy about it as well because he's been waiting for that. Obviously, he's from the Netherlands, so that's something. He's been enjoying.
Very cool to give him the 5-star skills too, because again, he was a skillful player, and they didn't upgrade that weak foot obviously because he didn't have one.
I was going to say that would have been a bit unfair.
Yes, exactly. But that's one of that you do it in real life and stuff like that. But it looks like a very solid card, 93 pace, 87 shot. I've heard good things about him.
His stats are great.
So that's a cool little addition.
His stats are really good. It's just the 2-star weak foot is a bit sad because all you can do is all he could do is cut inside, which kind of makes it realistic in a way. But
yeah, that's true. What do you think the price is good? Because I know a lot of people have been like hit and miss. EA's been so hit and miss on SBCs this year in terms of cost versus the card. It's 155k on here at least.
I think it's okay, to be honest. It's not outrageous. It's not dirt cheap. If you look at the stats, the card is actually really, really good. He's got decent stamina as well, which his base card does not have with 51 stamina, so substantial upgrade there. Base string pace, great shooting, great dribbling. It's literally just the 2-star weak foot that lets him down and the league. Because he's
true.
You need nation links. You link him to who do you link him to? Dumfries maybe. Well, Dumfries is a strong link. That
I mean, with all the icons that have been released, you get one of the Dutch icons. You're sorted to.
Yeah, icon's always an option. I'm just trying to think how you could box him in in the 2-link setup. Maybe get Wijnaldum in there, who's not a bad player, and. Don't know, maybe people have done that.
Quincy Promes' highest special card is not too bad.
Huh?
The Quincy Promes like highest rated card.
Oh yeah, that Promes is good as well. I got him untradeable actually in the party bag SBC.
Oh yes, yes,
I've
yes.
done that.
I completely forgot about the party bags. Those were trash.
But yours were
The worst
trash,
part
though.
is the first one was called Fut Freeze party bag. So I was like, all in my head, I was just like, forgot what the party bag was, and I was like, oh, it's only freeze players. And then I got Team in the Tournament Helvetii,
Oh
which
boy.
is like the lowest, like one of the lowest rated ones you can possibly get, and
Yeah,
lowest valued
that's an
ones you
L.
can possibly get. And then I got an even I forget who the other one was, but I got an even lower rated player than Helvetii. I think he was 79 overall. Oh, it was Ones to Watch Ake.
Yes. I hate that ones to watches are in there because this year all the ones to watches are so bad.
Yep.
Isn't
So that's
is there one
that's
good
why I
one?
say it's disappointing. Is there's too many. Like I know the point of the party bag is to have multiple different objectives in there, but there's just too many.
Yeah, I think so as well. I got pretty lucky. I think I got that Promes right to the final, and Carlos Vela's record breaker card. So that's okay. That's someone you could have used for an MLS team, for example.
Yes, I actually was about to buy him for my most team because my most team's almost complete because they've had so many special cards. They've had
I've used
those
him-
friendlies, those objectives. I don't know if you've done any of those. Probably not, but the objective groups for each like league. So they have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
championship
I've not
one, they have the
done that.
MLS one, and they have the Eredivisie one. I've only done the MLS one, but very cool idea with those ones as well. I feel like we're catching up on a bunch of stuff here, but
I've used the Vela card in squad battles for icon swaps, and I did not enjoy him.
he's
I don't
another
know
one
what
that suffers from a weak foot too,
he felt slow.
or the lack thereof. He's
But
4-star,
yeah,
2-star.
Weak foot's not great.
We did get the new season as well yesterday. With the icon swaps, we got the new season. Again, they just they refuse to think ahead on the storyline players on the ratings. Like level 15 is very easy to get to, but in 83, like what are we doing with 83? And two of them, who the hell? I mean, all three of them really. What are you going to link to? You have a Ghanaian from the Serie A in the central midfield, so like going to have a lot of links no matter what. Is that a from Ligue 1? That's a Senegalese Ligue 1 right mid, and then you have Bakumbu, who's like what Congo, in the Chinese league. Like, what are we doing here? Like, how are we gonna link these up? So like level 15s again, as always, stay not useful. But they did give us, the American Dream Pulisic, as a level 30 reward, so that's cool.
He looks good as well, but in reality, I don't think I'm gonna get to level 30 because even though
I didn't last year, or last season.
I've been doing more objectives recently, especially with icon swaps and the silver stuff. But I don't think I grind them enough to the point where I'm going to get to level 30. But, we'll see how it goes. What the objectives bring in the future. Because that's actually been fun. It's just relaxed, isn't it? I've been enjoying drafts as well for the most part. But
That's something
yeah,
I just don't
keeping
play
up
enough
with that.
FIFA because of other games, but that was
Not
something
been
this year I
gaming
was
at
going
all.
to get into. Was drafts, because I wanted a more casual experience, and I played a few at the start of the year and I did enjoy it, but now like I feel so overwhelmed by objectives, which is a good thing. But I feel so overwhelmed from objectives that I'm only doing the objectives and then logging off and then going to play another game or something. But that's just me. That's just some personal to me that plays like a lot of other games, like Warzone's out, like the new Warzone's out with Cold War, and then I just like other games as well. So, what else is coming out in FIFA?
Trying to think as
Or what
well.
else is
It's
there?
not-
Because we're not even, like I said, we're not even playing like objectives or anything like that. Oh,
There's
we're not.
no
We are
news
playing
on
objectives,
patches
not
or
playing, like,
whatever.
Warzone. I don't
Just
think
a classical
so. I mean,
disappointment with Freeze in general. I think it's nowhere near the promo Footmas used to be.
that's true. We never actually gave our thoughts on Freeze. It had just
Yeah.
dropped right when I did the last pod. Because that was the pod Joey and I were debating. Like, did they remove the name Futmas for like political reasons or
Probably
political correctness?
since we didn't get a Halloween-based promo as well.
Mhm.
I think there's got to be. Is there any other promos that are going to get renamed or rebranded for that reason? Do you remember?
Probably
I
not.
don't
It'd only
think
be
those would-
holiday-based promos.
Yeah, but those are the only two we had, didn't it? There was
I think
nothing
so.
special for Easter or whatever, for example,
Yeah.
or non-Christian holidays that, to be fair, I don't know a lot about, but
Because even Madden got, like, I think Madden used to do Christmassy themed holiday, like a Christmassy themed thing, but they got rid of it. But Madden does like American holidays, those too. So like you get your Thanksgiving
it's-
and stuff like that. But they call it Thanksgiving because again, that's American. I get why EA doesn't do like, or FIFA doesn't do a Thanksgiving one.
it's
'cause that would
more
be
of
very
an
random.
international game.
Yep.
Football or soccer for you is than
Yep.
NFL stuff. which is more USA. Although I've been watching that a little bit as well because a good friend of mine is a Seahawks fan, and he's kind of forced us to watch the games with him. I've so far I've watched 4 games, and I'm starting to understand like a little bit of the things that are going on. It's quite complicated. There's a fuck ton of way to break the rules in that game. Let me tell you that.
There is, yeah. It is because I feel like there's any games like the stops and stuff like that. There's so many more rules too. Like soccer's like so free flowing that it's really just like, you know, don't foul them and don't touch the ball with your hands. Like that's it.
I was a little bit
glad to hear that you're getting into it.
When I found out like the game itself is inherently violent because you have to tackle other people to the ground. You literally just sprint into them and try to like put their spine out of their body in essence. But then you can't even slide tackle someone with feet first, and you're not allowed to kick someone's helmet off. So I found that
yeah, I mean, they use a lot different boots, cleats. I call them we always call them cleats here. If you took a slide tackle with that, your leg would be in shambles. They're very much longer studs. They're very. Football doesn't use metal, so that's good. But they are much thinner. I don't really know how to describe it, but they would hurt a lot more. Now, if they introduce slide tackling to baseball ever, then people will actually lose their legs because you can use metal cleats in that one.
Fucking hell. It is an entertaining sport to watch, though. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's a bad rap because of the stats of like technically you're only watching like 10 actual in-game minutes of action happening. Where like, you know, if you come from like a football like a soccer background, you're used to, you know, all 90 minutes is essentially action until like people are wasting time. But that's very few and far between and not much time in the grand scheme of things. But I think it just gets a bad rap because of that stat. But I know a lot of people in the Discord have got into it. Like Ned is one of them as well, has gotten into American football a lot because it's been on more over there. Similar to almost soccer here is like the more it gets played on TV, the better it is for the sport. Like people get into it, but it's almost good to know because like then you'll understand like when we talk like Joey and I talk about Madden and stuff like that and what they're doing because it's still an EA game, but it's a sport you just don't understand. So it probably just goes over your head. But now you're gonna start like understanding like some of the stuff that we talk about on the pod with the differences between Madden and FIFA because those are the 2 EA games that have Ultimate Team. And work the most like side by side and make the most money.
I'm that knowledgeable about the sport, but well, I guess we're getting there slowly. Super Bowl is when is it? 7th of February, I believe. I've looked it up.
Yeah. Yep.
I hope we're.
So it's usually the first weekend in February.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be out of lockdown by then, if I'm honest, which sucks a
Probably
little bit.
Probably not. Especially with that advanced strain. Friends,
but well, we'll figure something out.
Super Bowl parties are the best too.
Excuse me?
Like you get people that don't even like Super Bowl.
Yeah. Like, my brother's done that in the past, and he doesn't really understand or watch the game. He's watched a couple of Super Bowls, but I never did, so that would be my first one. But you know, the thing is, I prefer watching it with friends than just sitting at home alone, watching it on a stream, and then just texting about what's going on. It's just different.
Yeah. That's like I feel like that's like for most sports that you're not sure if you like or not. Oh my god, sorry. I'm watching Arsenal. If you see me look away, Arsenal just scored one of maybe the goals of the season I've seen.
Was
like
it Tierney?
Team goals. Tierney scored a banger, but that was like just an actual good goal. This is like, it was one touch football. Oh yes, and into an empty net for Saka. Yeah,
I didn't see it, but well, from your description, I'm looking forward to the highlights.
Yeah, no, it was a nice goal. I mean, it wasn't like anything insane, but it was just like really good one touch, like counterattack and Bellerin and stuff like that. It was cool. But Saka scored, so we have 2 youngsters scoring, which is always nice. But moving on, I feel like we just don't have a lot to talk about FIFA. We talked about Madden, I just talked about Arsenal, but stuff that's going on now. But I want to get a podcast up because we were trying to do weekly, and we were for a while, but all fell in love with FIFA. So try to do it again next week as well. Get Joey on there, see how he's been doing because I know he hasn't been playing a lot of FIFA either. Could keep it short if you want to leave it there for now because we don't have a lot of content.
Yeah, I want to play. To be honest, I just don't know what else there is to talk about in terms of FIFA at the moment. So probably.
Yeah, I would say if people listen to this and want to ask us questions too, because like again, next week we're not gonna have much content. All it's gonna be is at most content. What we're gonna get is Headliners Team 2 and the voting for the Team of the Year, which would be a fun episode. We could go through like all 3 of our votes.
Yeah, I always enjoy
for
those.
Team of the Year. Yeah,
There's
so at most
a little
that's
bit
the
of
content.
fighting going on with people supporting different players and teams, and it should be who deserves to be in team of the year.
Yes, that's always the debate is do you vote on who you think deserves it or who do you want in like FIFA?
It's a little
'Cause, like,
bit of
I
a
know-
hybrid most of the times for me, but we'll get into that when the time is there.
Yeah, and at minimum, the least amount of content we'll have is that either it's just Headliners Team 2 or just Team of the Year voting if we don't get 2 weeks of Headliners, which either one I'm fine with. I hope we get Team 2 of Headliners and we get the Team of the Year vote so we don't have any weeks without a promo for the next couple weeks because that'll be more entertaining. But yeah, that's either way, even at a lot of the content, we still will have plenty of time for questions. So please tweet at us, DM us. I think DMs are open for the FUT Live account. The link will be down in the description below for that on Twitter. And I usually just keep them there, screenshot them so we know to open them up for the podcast. I put it out too late today because I was kind of I knew we were going to record, but I didn't know when, so I put out the tweet too late, so we didn't get any questions. But we'll try to get Felix on. We'll try to get Joey on for the next one.
We'll try to get me on for the next one as well, I think.
Yeah, as long as we do it on the weekend, we've been pretty good with it. So
Yeah. It's just a problem when it's midweek because of the time difference. That's a bit tough.
yes. Yeah, and then with holidays, it had to be midweek because all the holidays happen to fall on the weekend with New Year's and Christmas. They're basically Fridays, so I was home for the weekend. So it's tough there. So we should be good, though, for the upcoming weekends to continue with it. But if you guys did enjoy, please smash the like button. Oh, yeah, we're on YouTube, so actually smash the like button. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube, the link will be down in the description below if you're on the podcasting platforms. Please go into the YouTube, at least subscribe. I am still thinking about bringing content. What my goals for the content for that would be, from my standpoint, would be like team building for objectives, because I think that's kind of been fun. Like we what this episode is about is something I'd want to do there. Is like what teams am I rocking for the objectives and what, like, almost player reviews, but like team reviews in a sense of what I've liked.
Can't do that, yeah.
And then, like, I know we've talked about like Felix and Joey making like their own content. We could be content together, content separately, different things like that. So let us know if you want to see more on the YouTube channel for that. Because I've been kind of away from content creation as a whole. Like I said, haven't been streaming, haven't been doing YouTube videos because I haven't really been playing a ton of FIFA. So it's hard to do that. So, but with that, we'll leave it there. Won't try to ramble on too much longer as I can. But Felix, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see you
as always
next time.
See ya.